Hello. Good afternoon. Good Friday afternoon. Well, not Good Friday, but a Friday that's good. It is snowing everywhere but here, so I know that lots of my friends that are a little east of me and a little west of me all have snow. As you can see in my backyard, we do not. Today's topic is crafting a Grinch tree. No, this is not a craft show. I'm Dr. Heather Denniston, and I have a blog called Well Fit and Fed, and it's typically about wellness, fitness, nutrition, health, trends. So why am I doing a crafting video? Oh, what's happening over here? Let's fix that. Oh, it's just gonna do its own thing. There we go. Why am I doing a crafting video? I have no idea. My hands are actually shaking. I'm nervous. But I'm doing it because there is so much commercially stuff about Christmas, and this is a great way to give a gift and have it be healthy in many ways. Let's talk about that. This is a lemon cypress. Well, first of all, let's wait just a second, because I know there's somebody coming on a little bit later, so I'm just going to give them a couple minutes, and first we'll talk about a couple other things. Facebook Live for Well Fit and Fed will be continuing through the holidays. I've got some fun topics coming up, so make sure you check in every Friday. Most of the time it's at noon, unless I'm on a plane or there's something else going on, but I hope you'll join us through the holidays. And we are ramping up to the 4x4, 3-day reset 4x4 that is starting in January. I wish I could take you upstairs to show you I have closet doors up there that you can do dry erase on, and they are filled with all the plans and ideas for this 4x4. It is going to be so much fun. So we are going to do 4 weeks where we repeat the 3-day reset 4 times, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we will have online classes, we will have a private Facebook group, we will have educational emails going out about nutrition and health and all sorts of things that would help you make your 3-day reset that much more successful. And then the best part is that there's accountability. So there's going to be a group of us doing it together. We're going to keep the group pretty small, maybe 12 people, and I will be sending out more information about that as it comes along. Registration is only going to be open for 4 days, between the 2nd and the 5th. And so if you are interested, make sure you keep your eyes open for when you can register. Okay, as I was saying, because I think the person who I was waiting for, hi Rebecca, has joined us, and this is a lemon cypress tree. And I was just starting to talk about why am I doing a crafting video, and the reason is because there are ways we can do healthy, wellness-minded gifting over the holidays. And I don't remember how many years ago it was, but my sister Jenny showed up at a dinner party at my mom's with a Grinch tree, and nobody could take their eyes off this thing. It was amazing and funny, and people smiled and they laughed, so it was good for their heart, number one. Number two, lemon cypress smells incredible, and it is just so calming and has just such a nice fragrance to it, and so it's wonderful in your home. And it can also be reutilized. So we're going to wire this thing up today, but once the holidays are done, you can unwire it, replant it so it's not on its side. And I just was doing a little research and found out you can actually keep these indoors, and I didn't know that. So I'm going to I'm keeping one this year. Normally I make them and give them away, but I am going to keep one this year, and I'm going to try to keep it inside, and so that's kind of fun too. So that's how it can kind of be wellness-minded gifting, is real nature, and you can reuse it, and it doesn't take very many supplies, only a few dollars, and it makes people laugh. So I love that. Okay, so we should get started. So the supplies that you're going to need is a pot, and I got this pot at Fred Meyer, which is like a everything store where I'm at, and I like to try to find pots that are kind of bright and fun, because the whole idea behind this is it's sort of Grinchy, bright colors, kind of goofy, funny, whimsical, and so you want to kind of go with that theme. You don't have to, but it's fun too. The second thing you're going to need is a Christmas ball, about a mid-size one. You don't want anything too big that's going to overpower your tree, and you don't want anything too small that isn't going to help hold it over. Now, I did make one just before our broadcast today, and what I will tell you is one of the most important things is that you buy the right lemon cypress trees. I did not. And what that means is I was in a panic, and so I went on to the Cost Plus website and ordered my cypress trees, and they come, and they're very pretty, and they look great. But what you want is, this one's not too bad, but the other one that I just did before, and I'll show it to you when we're done in case I made one, so in case I mess this one up, then I've got one to show you. But you want a stem that's really bendy, okay? And some of the lemon cypress trees have a really thick stem, and you want one that's a little thinner and a little more pliable, because we are gonna bend this thing over so it looks like a goofy, Grinchy Christmas tree. And so you want a bendy one. So my recommendation is you go to your local gardening store and you go bend them. And usually they have lots of them this time of year. And I actually like ones that are a little bit bigger than this. This is 8 inches. A little bigger helps you just kind of get that big curve. Smaller is not going to work. So at least 8 inches or even a little bit bigger. I promise this craft is not going to take long. It takes seconds to put together. You need scissors. And you need gardener's wire. Now, when I first started making these, I went to all the trouble of calling my local florist and having them order me some and making sure it's the right thickness and all that. And then I was walking through Michael's yesterday and it's right there. So you can get this green gardener's wire. It's bendy, and you can get that at Michael's. Okay. Here we go. So I'm probably going to go out of camera a little bit, but I'll keep talking, and hopefully I've got you guys all taped up here. So if you could only see my studio, you're on top of a cooler, and you're all taped up so that you can tilt down a little bit to see me. So it's quite funny. Anyways, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Oh, also, by the way, Pootie Pie Muffin Pants, my husband, is on his way home, so he may walk in, and I've told him to try to be quiet if he can, but I would love for you guys to all see him as well. He's coming home from Poland. Okay, gardener's wire. Now, you start at the bottom, and what we're going to do is we're going to wrap on an angle, and we're going to bend as we go, and then you're going to wrap all the way back down again. These other ones that I did this morning, because their stem was so stiff, I actually wrapped them 4 times. Normally, you should not have to do that, just twice, okay? So what you do is just start at the bottom, and I bring it around, and almost like a twist tie, I just anchor the wire down there, and I keep it on its little rolly thing because I never know how much wire I'm actually going to need. And then what you do, and these things, you can manhandle them, okay? You do not have to be gentle, and you can even wrap them a little tighter than you think you want them, because they will pop open a little bit over the next day or two. They will also continue to grow. So I've kept them as a Grinch tree for, you know, into February, and they've got little sprigs coming out all over them. So don't worry about if you feel like you're wrapping too tight, okay? At one point I'm gonna have to stand up here. So I'm going on an angle, and I'm grasping, okay? And I'm wrapping around. And then, oh yeah, this is a really stiff one. And then I'm going to bend as I go. Okay, now I'm already at the top. I think I might have to do 4 times, so I'm going to come back down on an angle. And what the problem is, I hesitate to even say it, is that sometimes these will break when you manhandle them too hard. That's why you want nice bendy spines. So we are going to go back up to get ourselves a little bit more bend. And I'll really focus on my area right here. You can see I kind of pull down as I come around, like that. And the other thing is, you notice I planted it on an angle. You have to do that. So when you first plant your cypress, make sure you plant it on an angle, or else you're not going to get any bend out of it, or it's going to stand up all weird. Okay. So again, not Not my best work, but you're getting the idea of how to do it. Now I just clip and I just find a place to tuck that in. And now we can kind of bendy a little bit. You want to be careful. And I play with these over the next couple days to try to get them to bend even more. Then you take another piece of wire, about 4 inches, and you take your bulb, okay, and I'm going to hang my bulb off there. Let me take a look at what it looks like, and then I'll probably wrap through this again to bring it over a little bit more. And then I just twist tie. And then you want to get on the top of this, and this will add some weight, which is really great. And you just wrap that around, make sure it's nice and secure. Okay. And we're just working it a little bit. Perfect. Now, the other thing you can do, how cute is that? The other thing you can do is put some real pretty stones down here. And I have not done this yet, but you can get, and I just got a whole bunch of them. I haven't used them on my trees yet, but those little teeny tiny lights, you can see them behind me on the piano. They're battery operated. And so you can put them in a little Ziploc, put the battery case in a little Ziploc. You can actually bury it here with just the little clicker on and off thing, and then you can feed these up and down these trees so they're actually lit up as well. So you can make this as much this way as you want to. As I mentioned, these particular trees, their stems are a little stiff, and so they're a little harder to work with, but it's still super cute. And then I'll show you the one I did this morning as well. Hi, Rob. Are you gonna learn how to make a Grinch tree? This one's a little bit better. And he's like, "Rrr." And that's what makes it so funny, is it's just so silly and whimsical and fun. And so again, you can add lights, you can add some little pretty stones or colored stones or anything to that is fine as well and looks really pretty. And the whole thing probably costs about, the cypress trees can be a little pricey. They can be about between $10 and $15, sometimes even more. But the actual supplies, the gardener's wire and the balls and the pots, I mean, that's under $10. So it's a pretty reasonable gift, especially when someone can replant this and continue to use it and remember you all year long because you gave them such a pretty Grinch tree. So please feel free to ask me any questions about that. I love making them. They're so much fun. But we're going to talk about today ways you can stay on track with your nutrition during a holiday. And it's hard. And the worst situation, well, not the worst, but an unfortunate situation you can get into is if you just say, oh, forget it, I'm just gonna blow it this next couple of weeks and I'm gonna get back on track in January. Statistics tell us that that doesn't work. And so my recommendation to you is pick a few areas that you're gonna focus on over the holidays so that you don't completely derail. And so one of the things that I recommend to my clients is that when you are going to a party, that you just go ahead and bring your own appetizer to offer the hostess, and it's something that you can nibble on all night. So I always bring a massive veggie plate, raw veggies, and that you can keep eating that all night and it's fine. And so you don't have to be eating the fried food or the little sausages or any of those things. So bring a nice big veggie plate or something along those lines that's a little more healthy than often what is served, especially if it's, obviously not at your house, you don't know what's being served. So that's important. And another thing too is to commit to not eating right when you get there. So often at these parties, there's appetizers out and there's stuff being passed. And if A, there's going to be a dinner, skip the appetizers. B, if it's just sort of a heavy appetizer thing, then wait an hour. Just make a commitment to yourself that you're going to wait until a little later, because once you start, the tendency is we just keep eating. And so be cautious of that. And I was just talking to a client yesterday. He was saying he was going to his wife's work party and it's just appetizers, so it'll be easy. Well, I can tell you that at the end of the night, if I piled on a dinner plate all of the appetizers you ate, it would be a massive meal. Okay, a lot of people are fooled by that. So watch the appetizers, don't go to a party hungry, and bring your own big tray of veggies as just a nice gesture, but also it serves your goals as far as meeting your nutrition. And also beverages. I have 2 words for you: vodka, soda. Skip the eggnog latte, skip the wine if you can, and do something that's very clean and that has water in it as well, so you can stay hydrated. And the nice thing about something like a vodka soda, if you are choosing to drink alcohol, is that you can have every second one be just a glass of soda water. So if you want to have 2 drinks during the night, then you can also have 2 soda waters, and you're still carrying a drink around. And for a lot of people, that's what it's about, is just having something in their hand. And so vodka soda is a good choice if you choose to drink alcohol. Better yet, do a mocktail, but just beware of the fruit juices, all the hidden sugars that are in these drinks, and it is amazing how many calories you can ingest just by drinking, okay? So be cautious of that. And also just set a goal for, as far as, not a goal, but an intention of how much you are intending to consume that night. Because I find that that's helpful for me. If I say, okay, I'm gonna have 2 drinks, then I'm conscious of it. I'm aware, I kind of plan it out so that it doesn't, I don't end up getting too many. It doesn't always work, but it is a great way to go into it and to be a little bit more prepared. Focus on the people, not the food. We've gotten so far away from what the main point of getting together is. It's always surrounding the food, isn't it? Well, make an intention to focus on the people, on the conversation. Get yourself away from the food table and go sit on a couch or a chair with somebody else who you've been wanting to talk to for a while, and you'll be surprised at how easily you can get through the night without picking all night, okay? Send leftovers home. So if you are hosting, one of the nicest things that I ever experienced as a guest at someone's home is while we were all finishing sort of the last half hour of the party, she had somebody, I think it was her son, boxed up these really pretty white boxes tied in purple ribbon with a little lavender through it of a little portion of everything that we'd had that night. And we all took it home. And she was left with no leftovers, nothing to kind of pick at or binge on in the, late at night or over the next few days when you normally wouldn't still be eating that heavy food. So it's a nice way to send stuff home with your family or with your guests. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. And let's see. We've got focus on the people, send leftovers home. Oh, this one's just cruel and unusual, but it's probably the one that works the best, and that is make a point to record what you're eating over the holidays. Even if you don't make intention around exactly what you're going to eat, I guarantee you if you are writing it down, particularly if you're putting it in an app like MyFitnessPal, where it's going to show you very clearly how much you've eaten, how many calories you've ingested, just make a commitment to record it, because you will eat less if you do. For sure, if you have to put it in there and see it right on your phone, you definitely will be more conscious of it. Also, walk. So getting out of the house and going for a walk seems obvious, but it's amazing how often we get stuck in the house and we just don't think about it. But it gets you away from the food, it gets you moving, and it also, I find, helps just dissipate the family energy a little bit, because sometimes that can get stressful over the holidays. And it's a great talking time. So since we don't get a lot of time with our nieces, our nephews, our uncles and aunts and all of that, it's a great time to get out one-on-one and have some quality time instead of just focusing on the eating and the sitting and the too much of both of those things. Okay, so I went over how to make a Grinch tree, and those of you that joined a little late, make sure you look at the replay, because we made a really fun Grinch tree. Here it is. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello. Great gift. And then we talked about ways to manage your intake over the holidays, because it is hard. Nobody's going to tell you that it's not. It is, especially if you are super social and you've got lots of parties and things like that. Just be cognizant of it and know that in 2 weeks' time, it is not going to matter if you had 10 appetizers or you tried to stick to one. You'll be much happier in January if you chose the latter, okay? And that leads me to just a little bit more detailed about the 4x4 that we're doing in January. I just want to remind you that we are doing a 4x4 3-day reset in January, starting January 15th. We're actually doing a pre-week, January 8th, to get everybody ready. And the registration is going to be open between January 2nd and 5th. And then it'll be closed. It's going to fill for sure because I'm keeping the group very small so that on our private Facebook group we can have some great interaction and peer support. And there will be Facebook Live teaching online classes that are going to happen and that are private just to those that register. And we're also going to have some email information, and you get a copy of the book, and it's going to be great. So I hope you join me for that. Again, registration will be between the 2nd and the 5th, and that is for the 3-day reset 4x4. That's why we call it that, because it's 4 weeks, 4 resets. Okay. All right, I think that's all I have for today. So if you guys don't have any questions about the Grinch tree, then I will sign off. And thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next Friday at hopefully noon. And I'll let you know what the topic is. Keep your eyes open on Facebook Live. One last thing, for the Grinch tree, there is a whole blog post on how to make the Grinch tree with printable instructions and easy step-by-step instructions instead of me just, diatribing. And so if you want to see that, just go to the wellfitandfed.com blog and put in Grinch tree in search, and it'll come right up for you. And then since you're there anyway, make sure you drop your email on the homepage so that you can get all of the hot off the press notifications about what Well Fit and Fed is doing, about future publications, hint, hint, something might be coming, and about the 4x4 class and all sorts of educational material around health, fitness, and nutrition. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.